Hey all, it's Sarah Saxby, your transformation coach at Strategies for Happiness, author of Comfortable Hell and Guide to a New Way Forward. So today I want to talk about the phrase, I'm happy enough. Because I think I wrote it down like a month ago or something, and I find it quite interesting that a lot of us, including myself, everything that I say, I'm speaking from experience, is that I'm happy enough. So, and I think that especially women or in moms or whatever, like we say, well, I'm happy enough because look at how blessed I am. So even though there's you have these deep feelings and dreams of, how you could feel and how things could look, you sort of sink back and say, well, I'm happy enough. It's okay. So there's this story, I might have told it before, but it's the story of the skinny cow, and it's too long for this vlog. But basically, our skinny cows, we all have one, and it's something that we hang on to with both hands because it gives us just enough. Nothing extra. It gives us just enough to survive. And it keeps us in a very small place. So for instance, if you make, and I'm making this up, please, but say you make $500 a week and that $500 gets allocated to rent, electric, food, and there's zero left over. Like you literally paid your bills and you ate a little bit of food and that's it. And you hold on to it because you're like, oh my God, I'm so thankful for that $500. So thankful for it. It gets me food and my home every week. And so, 2 years goes by and it's the 500, nothing more. And, it could be in relationships too. You could have, your significant other could be the skinny cow also, right? This person isn't, you never could imagine that this was the person you'd spend your life with, but here you are, you're with this person for many years. You have no goals together. You have really nothing to look forward to. You just kind of coincide, cohabitate together. But you're holding on because that person provides some level of security, right? At least you're not alone. At least you have somebody to share the bills with, something like that. It's a skinny cow. You're telling the universe, like, I'm grateful for just this. That's it. And, everyone knows that shit went sideways like 4 years ago, right? Things are different. The world is different. I don't think anybody would argue with that. But one thing that's happening is that we're no longer, it's like skinny cows are being ripped out from us without even a blink of an eye from the universe, right? If we're not addressing those skinny cows and proactively, like I said, addressing and maybe getting rid of them or doing something about it, the universe is stepping in and taking it away. And then what do? The universe comes in and rips that $500 a week job out, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? And for the first time, you realize you want more than that. But when you had the skinny cow, you didn't have that consciousness. Do you know what I mean? Because you were just like, you had a $500 consciousness. That's it. But when it was gone, you're like, I'm tired of struggling. I'm so tired of it. I want more. And the universe goes, finally. Same thing with a partner. The partner, God forbid, cheats on you and you're like, oh my God, what? How did this happen? And then, you realize I can have somebody that's not abusive, or I can have somebody that actually supports me and wants better things for me. Wow, I want a better relationship. And the universe is like, great, that's why we had to do this. So it's like we could do it proactively, but very few of us do because we're afraid that we're going to make a mistake or, that we did the wrong thing. So we hold on, and the way things are today, these skinny cows are just getting ripped away from us. So then we're forced to create a bigger desire and want more for ourselves. And really, the only reason why we're not doing it proactively is because we haven't been pushed hard enough yet. We haven't been pushed hard enough. So it's like the tap, the hammer, and then just wiped out completely. And when it's wiped out completely, that's when we finally go, oh my God, how have I been living? How have I been settling? Like it's eye-opening. And another thing that came to my head is like, how on social media, sometimes people will post the most beautiful room you've ever seen, right? It's like some cottage with a fireplace and a plush couch and blankets, and outside a big window, it's snowing and whatever. And you're like, oh, I want this room. I want this room really bad, right? So maybe you manifest it and you're like, oh, I found this place on Vrbo and I'm going to go stay at it for 2 days or whatever. And you get there and you're like, okay. Like for some reason, by looking at it on social media, you thought that that room was going to come along with this internal feeling of absolute just magic. But it doesn't, right? Because the magic is created inside. The magic comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. I think like back, in like the 90s and the 80s, like we had some magic on the outside. It was cool, but it's not like that anymore. Magic comes from the inside. So, I was thinking about it and, I was kind of saying like, okay, well, what if you went to this beautiful Vrbo place, with a friend, like a good friend, and had like a deep, deep conversation, glass of wine, and just really connected. And it was so wonderful. I mean, did it really matter if you were in this beautiful place? Like to me, I was like, I guess it wouldn't even matter because it's about the experience, right? Like everything is about the experience these days, the experience that you're having. So really, I could have sat on a park bench for free and had this beautiful conversation, this deep conversation that really fulfilled me. And I didn't have to go, I was like, what's your intention for it, I guess? Do you think that beautiful room is going to change something inside of you? Are you hoping that it will? Or are you changing, and you're making the magic happen? Every experience that you go through during the day, you're making the most of it. You're making it wonderful. And then this beautiful room appears to make your experience even better. Does that make sense? It's like we just can't throw enough money at things to take away the undercurrent of pain or resentment or hopelessness or sadness. There's this undercurrent. And I'm speaking to the people that can hear me, that understand this. It's like you can have all kinds of beautiful around you, and you could be very blessed in so many ways. But there's a lot of skinny cows out there. There's a lot of things that we're holding on to that are stopping us. Your skinny cow is what stops you from feeling that ultimate fulfillment, for feeling, your daily experiences and feeling that deep connection that really we want to feel now, and everybody's different. It just depends. I know people like my son, he loves cars, right? And it's like, he's like, I truly do feel happy when I'm driving different cars. Like that's his thing. So it's like, I understand that. Like he really is fulfilled when he's driving cars. He loves it. But he's enriching himself when he's learning about cars. Like he's talking to people about who own these things and he's driving them. And so he's enriching his knowledge. So, if you think about it that way, then these things are very important. But at the end of the day, are you going, to sleep where you feel like you have enriched yourself, like you were connected in some way, like your experience wasn't a distraction, it was actually experienced? Because a lot of times we might go to that beautiful Vrbo room and, you sit there and you feel so empty. You feel empty. because you're like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like it was supposed to bring me something. Well, it's not, because you bring your experience with you. How are you creating experiences during the day that are deeper, that are more meaningful? What are your distractions? Like the inessential. We're doing inessential things all day. We never have enough time. But if you look at it, most of our day is filled with inessential things, when really we so desire the essential. So let me know what you think about that. I'm curious to hear your feedback, because I really do think that we look for, our life is just in this constant flow now, and when we're in the flow, we need to create better moments. It's not necessarily about where you are. It's about who you're with and what you're doing and what you're getting from it. Is it rich? Is it deep? That's who we are today. It's the superficial stuff is like dying out. Because it just doesn't work. It doesn't feel good anymore. I'm not saying don't go buy an awesome pair of shoes, because maybe you've been dreaming of these and it's going to be perfect for something, and you're really happy. It's not about not indulging in things, but is it enriching you? Is it enriching you, or is it just a distraction from something else? And are you really enjoying yourself? There's a way. So keep listening. We're going to be talking about this more. Send me an email at Sarah@Strategies for Happiness, or comment on Comfortable Hell, and let me know what you have to say. Talk to you guys later. Bye.